One of the biggest mistakes that new parents make is they over-prepare for birth and under-prepare for baby. My name's Christina, welcome to Heart and Ledger. I've spent more than a decade helping the most successful companies in the world with their strategic planning and risk assessment. And let me tell you, all of my professional background went right out the window when I had my first baby. I did not have the right strategy in place. I did not identify risks early enough. I put way too much energy and focus on what was essentially a one-day event, the birth, and I greatly underestimated the 8 weeks that followed. And I read all the books I was supposed to. It really did not prepare me for what was to come. And that's why I decided to make this video. I am sharing a very actionable guide. This is the guide I wish I had had, sharing my biggest regrets with you so that you can not just survive, but truly thrive in the fourth trimester. As a quick reminder, I am not a medical professional. Always consult with a doctor or a mental health professional when it comes to medical advice. It truly does take a village. That statement could not be more true. The challenge that we live in a modern society where it's typically up to two parents to raise that child and you just don't have that network of support. 1 in 8 women and 1 in 10 men suffer from postpartum depression. And let's face it, that number is likely to be so much higher because it's self-reported. I don't know a lot of people in their most chaotic time of their life filling out those questionnaires. So it's not something to be underestimated. And the best way that you can prepare yourself is ensuring that you have the help that you need. This is one of my huge mistakes. I did not adequately prepare for help. I thought, I'm on maternity leave. My partner is on paternity leave. We're both not working. How much help can we possibly need? The answer is, however much help you think you need, you should probably quadruple it, and that's what we're gonna get into next. There's going to be 3 types of people in your life once you have that baby and you've entered the postpartum period. Social visitors, these are the people that are gonna come over, hold baby, chit chat, and then they're going to leave. The majority of people probably do fall into this category. How to identify your social visitors? Who are the people that you'd probably tidy up for a little bit? Who are the people, or at least you'd put pants on if they're coming over? The second group of people are your guardian angels. These are the people that are there to work. They are there to proactively empty the dishwasher, put on the load of laundry, cook you dinner, you take baby, change nappy, and settle them. This is the most limited resource. You are lucky if you have one person in this group. To identify your potential guardian angels, have a think about who in your life has been really consistently reliable. Who are the people that you can call in an emergency at 3 a.m. and they will be there for you. If you're sick, they'll come over and bring soup without even asking. Those are your guardian angel. And the third group is your energy drainers. Now, these are the type of people that you typically feel a bit depleted afterwards. They can be anyone from your sort of classic narcissistic personality types, even to more well-meaning people that perhaps are just a bit much. Now, this is going to be a minority of people, hopefully, but they can have a very large impact. Who, after a phone call or a hangout, are you feeling less energetic and even more exhausted than when you started? Who are the people who give unsolicited advice or possibly even make you feel judged? My biggest mistake was not actually understanding who was in my village and what expectations and role each of them would play. And my other mistake was not understanding that I could actually create my own village. And of course, I'll share how to do that next. Now that we've categorized our village, let's move into the 3 strategic plays. Play number 1 is managing social visitors. This is all about conserving your energy and also maximizing help from this group. So let's start with day 1 in the hospital. My advice, do not have any social visitors in the hospital. I'll never forget when the midwife told me one of the best things that happened during the pandemic was there was a rule that no visitors were allowed. And they noted how the well-being of the parents significantly improved over those years and why you might consider minimizing visitors in the hospital. I'll just paint a little picture for you with my own experience. Day 1, typically baby is tired from birth and they're probably sleeping well, and you're also having a little bit of adrenaline. So for a lot of people, day 1 is not so bad. Day 2 to day 3 is when your milk is coming in, where hormones tend to peak. There's also a lot of medical tests happening at that time. It's very busy. For myself, day 1 felt pretty good. Day 2, I had an enema because I literally hadn't pooped properly in 5 months. And day 3, I cried the entire day. Most of it was happy tears. It's just very emotional. Also, if you're trying to breastfeed, keep in mind your boobs are going to be out almost your entire hospital visit as you're trying to navigate this incredibly tricky and new skill. It's just not the best time to have a lot of social visitors around. My advice for you, if you do want to have visitors, is to ask your midwife to strategically come in about 30 to 60 minutes after your visitors have arrived and make up an excuse to get them out of there. So sorry, we need to run this test. The pediatrician is coming. I need to take blood, whatever it may be. That is a good way to just put a couple guardrails in place so you know you can expect it to be a short visit. Now, once you're back at home, that is a good time to have your social visitors. But when you are inviting them, don't just say, hey, come on over. You say, if you are wondering how to help me, it would be so appreciated if you could insert specific task here. I'm so excited to see you. It would be fantastic if you could bring over a hot meal. If you could please organize lunch for us, that would be so appreciated. You have to actually ask to get help, and most people really want to help you. They recognize this is a vulnerable time. They just don't know how. So be as specific as possible. If that makes you feel a bit uncomfortable, detail out every single chore that you have to do in your house and write it down on a Post-it note on your fridge. And it says to do, and you list out every single chore that is very specific. So walk the dog, feed the cats, take out the bins, empty the dishwasher, break down the cardboard boxes, put it in the recycling. Now, when somebody asks you when they're socially visiting, is there anything I can do before I leave? You say, why, yes, Johnny, thank you so much for asking. There's actually quite a few things on our list. If you could tackle one of those things, we would appreciate it so much. It's a really great, non-confrontational, non-awkward way to ask for help. And it puts it in their court. They can just choose whatever they're comfortable with. In terms of when you are choosing to have people over, it's really up to you. Couple things to keep in mind is that babies typically don't get their vaccines until they're about 6 weeks old. So if you have unvaccinated friends and family, that's a consideration. Also, the first 6 weeks, there is no schedule. There is no routine. Day is night, night is day. Therefore, it can be a little bit trickier to schedule. It's really up to you. Have a discussion with your partner and really think about who you're planning to invite over and when. I also wanted to include a modifiable template that I'll link in the description if it helps you create some boundaries with your social visitors. We can't wait for you to meet our newest family member. To help us all settle in smoothly, here are a few things to keep in mind for when you pop by. Our tiny human is still building up their immune system, so please reschedule if you're feeling even slightly unwell. A hand wash before cuddles is super appreciated, and please avoid kissing baby on the face. We're on a bit of a wild ride with schedules, so shorter visits around 30 to 60 minutes are best to help us manage. If you're wondering how to lend a hand, insert task here would make our day. Lastly, we love seeing you bond, but please keep an eye on baby's cues. If they seem fussy or overstimulated, they might need quiet time. Thank you so much for understanding and for being such wonderful friends and family. We can't wait for you to meet our little one. Strategic play number 2, maximize guardian angel support in the first 8 weeks and critically in weeks 4 through 6. There's 2 main reasons for this. Number 1, weeks 4 through 6 is the peak of what's known as purple crying. And no, that's not when the baby cries so much they turn purple. It's actually an acronym. Peak of crying, unexpected, resist soothing, pain-like face, long-lasting evening. It's a very normal part of your baby's neurological development, but it's really, really a hard time. The second reason why weeks 4 through 6 are the hardest is because you have so much accumulated sleep debt at this point. It's now been 4 to 6 weeks since you've had a full night's rest. You are going to be delirious and your eyes are going to be falling out of your head. It's really hard. And that's why it's so important to get guardian angel support, because it doesn't have to be that bad. If you get people to support you, you can run off and have a nap. You can get through this period. Now, what if you're saying, I actually don't have anyone I can really think of in guardian angel category? Guess what? You can pay people to be your guardian angels. Your guardian angels can be a food delivery service company. Your guardian angel can be a house cleaner that you barely know. Your guardian angel can be a doula or a nanny that you have not yet met with. Now, if you are lucky enough to actually have people in your life who will do this role for free, bless them. Make sure you have them booked in through weeks 4 through 6 most critically, but maximize their help in the first 8 weeks. This was another big mistake of mine. I actually have a mother who's a guardian angel, but she lives in a different country, very far away. And I scheduled her in at week 8 when my baby was already sleeping so well. I really just didn't need the support in the same way that I needed it at week 4. So make sure that you schedule those people in at the right time. Strategic play number 3 is protect your peace from those energy drainers. Who's going to play that role of the protector? That is going to be the non-birthing parent. The birthing parent is only responsible for rest, recovery, bonding with baby, and breastfeeding if that's what you're planning to do. Your non-birthing partner is going to be the one that holds those boundaries firm. My advice, do not let them into your sanctuary in those critical first 8 weeks. Now, if you are thinking, I have some family members, it's not possible for me to do that, or I just don't know how I could do that. Well, get those excuses ready. I'm not feeling well. My doctor really recommended that I rest more in this phase and I don't have visitors, but we are really looking forward to sharing pictures with you and we'll keep you posted with how everything's going. Another hot tip I have to help people feel included while also minimizing your effort and energy is instead of sending photos to people, create an album and drop photos into that album. We use Google Photos to do this, and then you can just share the link of your private album with your people. Just remember, this phase is about you. It is about you, your family, your baby as new parents, and it is not about their feelings. Okay, now let's dive into the financial plan. It is not something that is bougie or luxury to pay people to help you when you are in a crisis and when you are just trying to survive. Nor is it anything to be ashamed about if you have to pay someone to be in your village. Not everyone can rely on free labor and free help from their family members, and that is totally okay. And this was my biggest mistake, is that I did not understand or realize that there is this whole beautiful, wonderful world of people that you can pay to help you out. And I think I also felt, because I was on maternity leave, it was supposed to be my job to do all the cooking and the cleaning and taking care of baby and all of it. But the reality is it's a 24/7 job and you need a break. If it actually was a job, you would be entitled to a break, but parenthood is a unique thing where you just don't get one. In my 5 simple tips video, I talk about the importance of having an emergency fund. I typically think of an emergency fund as things like if you lose your job or if you have some type of medical issue that prevents you from work. Guess what? This qualifies as an emergency. So you can dip into this if you are finding that you cannot cope, if your mental health is terrible, if you are not sleeping and your eyeballs are falling out of your head, you can dip into this fund to get people to help you. Meals are the easiest thing to outsource, so I'll start with that. Meal delivery plans really vary from company to company depending on what you eat and how many people you're feeding. I would financially budget for between, say, $60 to $200 per week. So $140 per week on average, multiplied by 8 weeks is $1,120. The other great thing to do is before baby arrives, to freeze a bunch of meals in your freezer, make big batches of food, things that you can eat easily with one hand if you plan to breastfeed, put it all in your freezer ahead of time. House cleaners is the second category I would include here. It also completely depends on the city that you live in, the number of staff helping you, as well as the size of your home. Decent budget would to be prepared between $100 and $200 per clean. Even if they're just doing your bathroom, scrubbing your toilets so that you don't have to, your future self will thank you. So let's say $150 once a month in that 8-week period. If you could set aside about $300 for this category. The next category is the most expensive, but also the most helpful, which is childcare support. There are these wonderful angels called postpartum doulas, and they can give you the full service offering of coming and doing the chores in your home, settling baby, holding baby, putting them to sleep. Like, they're just there to help and do whatever it is that you need. They tend to be a little bit more expensive, of course, as compared to, say, a nanny. Think through the type of support and what is going to be most feasible for you. Let's assume it's 2 hours twice a week for 8 weeks at, let's say, $30 an hour. That's $960 over your 8 weeks. The other category are night nannies. These are people that specifically come overnight and settle babies so you can get a good night's sleep. I've never personally used that. I've heard it's the most amazing thing ever. Check out some websites to find estimates of that. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, you're not really sure if you're going to need support, that is totally fair enough. You might want to see how you go first and then to make the decision. But my strong recommendation would be do the research now. Create a short list, do a couple interviews, make some job postings on some of the platforms online, like care.com is what we used here in Australia. Do all the admin now and then wait until you are ready to then hire them officially. Best case scenario, you are actually doing absolutely fine and you don't feel you need that support. Great. Then you don't have to hire them, no expense paid at all. But worst case scenario, you can just text someone really easily and say, can you come out next week? What you don't want to be doing is all of those administrative tasks when you're in the peak of the chaotic time. If you are currently expecting and you have a little bit of time before baby, start that budget today. Put aside anything you can each week. Every dollar counts. Think about it. One dinner out is literally 2 hours of help. Going out for brunch could be the difference of someone cleaning your toilets so you don't have to when you're in that sleep deprived state. Already have savings in your bank account. Come up with a budget with your partner that you're comfortable with so that you can dip into it and do it guilt-free when baby comes along. If you have not yet had a baby shower and you're planning to, put this in your registry. Put cash donations towards a nanny or some type of support. Put gift cards towards meal delivery service plans. I can't tell you how many baby showers I've been to where there's just so many products and things and there's actually nothing allocated for support. If you have a budget for baby items, can you find some areas where you can buy things more cheaply on Facebook Marketplace, and then therefore you can allocate some of those funds towards your help fund. Now, I know that was a lot, but I hope it gives you more clarity and confidence as you're entering this new period to have a bit more of a plan in place. My mantra my whole way through was that what's best for mom is best for baby. What your baby needs more than anything are parents who are calm, taking things in stride, who are well rested. Your sleep, your peace of mind, your mental health is so worth spending a little bit of money on in this phase. I hope you really enjoyed this video. I'd love to hear from you. What is a tip that you want to share with our community? Thank you so much for watching.
Our full series, How to Survive the First 8 Weeks with a Newborn, a Complete Guide, is coming next week. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next video in the series.